Hello everyone, how are you? This is Luna Aura from the Sex Magic School of Isis and Lilith, and today we would like to talk about demons. Ha ha ha. Alright. So I made a video once. It's called, I think I'll put a link down below. I think it's called Silly Demons or something. And basically what I explain is that the bottom line, right? Like we can learn everything we can about demons and dark entities and protection from them, which is a really good knowledge to have. We have to know this because it's real. But in the bottom line, we have to understand that no energy can hurt us and attach itself to us if we're not a match to it, right? So all we have to do is just rise above and not match that lower frequency. So one of the best ways is, of course, to keep your vessel clean and pure. As I always say, don't eat dead animals because you are lowering your vibration and you're right there with all the demonic entities. That's why most humanity is demonically possessed. And I will explain later in this video more deeply. But another way is just to laugh and to be silly and to really connect with your inner child energy. Because when you look in a demon's eyes and, not all of them have eyes, I'm just kind of like symbolically saying that. And you laugh and you say, I love you. You're so cute. They would literally run away from you. So my point is, I guess, is I'm going to teach you all this knowledge. You can learn all the knowledge that you can, but also at the bottom line, don't take it so seriously. All right? Don't take this so seriously. Laugh, jump around, have some vegan chocolate, whatever makes you happy, and make sure you are putting yourself in the right environment with the right people in your life. So just keep your vibration high at all times. All right? Cool. Careful with alcohol. Be careful with low vibrational drugs that lower your frequency. All those good things. And of course, food. You are what you eat. So if you eat fear and suffering and pain and death, that's what you become. And you are very, very, very matching the energy and vibration of demonic entity. Very simple. It is very simple. Eating animals is the highest form of blood magic. It is a sacrificial blood magic. And so it lowers your frequency like that. And this is why those bad dark entities have been programming humanity for eons to think that this is natural and this is okay, but it's not. Okay, that was a big introduction. Now let's continue. So recognizing loving entities from demons. How do we do that? Sometimes people want to channel and they think that they are connecting with their higher, with spirits or their guardian angels and things like that. But a lot of the times, and I saw it many times with my own eyes because I can see entities on another dimension, they are actually connecting with very low vibrational entities. We have to understand this about demons. They are tricksters. If you just get this, you get everything. They are tricksters. All right. Demons can appear as any other being other than themselves. Usually they will appear as something that will suit that person's unique belief system or momentarily desire. So let's say a person really, really wants to connect with their spirit animal. Spirit animal, usually they can't really reach that frequency, but let's say a person really wants to channel Mary Magdalene, right? I've seen a lot of women today really, really want to channel Mary Magdalene, and so and so they don't, but they're not doing it right. Their vessel is very tainted. It is very low frequency, and so they will channel an entity that will say that it's Mary Magdalene, or would feel like Mary Magdalene, or would look like Mary Magdalene, and give her all the right words to kind of get into their conscious mind, but really they're tricking them. So, all right. So let me continue, and throughout the video, you'll have more examples and kind of more understanding. Okay. So again, they will appear as something that will suit the person's own unique subconscious mind and belief system. And for example, if someone really loves angels, right, and will be more susceptible to believing in angels, they will appear as an angel. Okay. I see people every day. I've said this in many videos before for years. I see people every day that are possessed by demons. I see it at the supermarket. I see it at the gas station. I see it everywhere. I mean, I'm very confident to say this, and I know it's a bold statement, but most humanity is possessed by demons today, right? Now, let me clarify. Do not mistake the Hollywood movie image of hosting a demon, right, to reality. Most times it is invisible. Most time we will not see or know that this is happening. Demons can live in and act through a human in very blunt, but also highly subtle ways, especially when that person is in a sleep state, which most humans are. Yeah, I would say a lot, most a lot. Know what the right word to use here. I don't have numbers per se, but a lot of us, a lot of humans. There's a misconception that demons are from this other dimension, right? Where that is true in a way. You also need to know the truth, which I've been, again, talking about for years. Demons are already in our realm, all right? They are here. Portals have been opened by very evil people who think that they are above everyone and above the mother and above source, who have lost their souls. CERN is just one example to a place that opened portals. If you don't know about CERN, please get to know about CERN. I will not get into it in this video. CERN. If you put CERN capital letters, you will discover a lot of interesting things. But again, don't get stuck there, because CERN is just one place. All right. There's a lot of places that are unknown and no one has ever talked about that have been trying to open portals to low frequency dimensions for so long, so long. But there are also many high religious institute, government, and military bodies and dark wizards who diligently act to open and keep those portals open, right? Because it's not just about opening them. It's really difficult to open them, but it's also keeping them open so that the forces from other dimensions can enter this one. I'm not saying this to scare you. Please do not feel fear. Look at me smiling. I'm not scared. You should not be scared either. This is to empower you, all right? We need to know what is happening to us so that we can make a conscious choice and take another route. This is, again, why we need to consume only light foods, and we need to become light, because we are light. And all these things that have been told to us that is okay to eat animals and to have just unconscious sex and just so many things that we take for granted and we think are okay, but are really lowering our frequencies so that we can be at the level of these entities, so that we can, so that those that open the portals for these entities, let me put it this way. When people are in such low frequency, then when humanity in such low frequency and these portals are being opened, it's easier for these demons and these lower entities to enter our realm, because we are a match to them. So the more people are in a low frequency, the easier it is, right? So the more people we have now who are going to do the work, do the work on our shadows, eat light foods, only plant-based diet, like the more people that raise our frequency, that we don't have sex with just anyone, that we take responsibility and live in integrity, that will help protect us and elevate the soul of this planet to a higher frequency. And again, at the end of the day, the mother is rising. So it's up to you if you're going to join her or not. That's it. Okay. So again, if we do not choose in every moment consciously to give our energy and life force and love to a certain source, to the mother, God, whatever you want to call your source, which is really only the mother, because she is the feminine, she is the eternal womb, that is her. You can call her whatever way you want. but not to a false god, right? Like you don't want to give your energy and life force to a false god or gods, which is what all religions are offering humanity still. And religions are about to, fade away. I'm really happy about that. But so if you don't consciously choose in every moment what you give your life force to, it will be decided for you, all right? Because our bodies and our vessels of light, of information, and naturally constantly receive and give information. And because there are so many low entities here already in this dimension, it is more easy than ever to enter humans, since humans are so lowered in energy because of, again, eating animals, alcohol, unconscious sex, porn. Oh my God, porn. Not facing their shadow. So their shadow controls them. And also now we have social media, which is in a constant state of programming and distorting human minds. We are bombarded on every direction, from every direction. So we must be aware, okay? Just be wise. Don't be in fear. Just be wise. I'm just gonna get a sip of drink. Okay. So what can we do if we want to communicate with some sort of a being, but we're not sure if it's a trickster or if it's not, if it's from the light, if it's from the shadow? And one more thing I want to say, at another deeper layer of understanding, all demons, right? All demonic entities, everything in existence is really a part of us at the end of the day. All right. And so, but we can, but again, in our journey of evolution, there are many layers of embodiment and understanding. So at the deepest layer, they're all part of us. So when we do encounter, if we do encounter a demonic entity or a low vibrational entity, we must really find that energy and that frequency inside of us. And when we do that, when we accept it, when we unite with it, when we understand that that is a part of us as well, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And it definitely cannot hurt us anymore. So this is just a huge thing I want you to understand, and just keep that in your conscious mind. So, but what can you do if you're on this level of wanting to experiment and connecting with, your angels or guides or whatnot, or, any other source or dimension? Always ask them to identify themselves clearly. They must do so. And loving light beings will always identify themselves in a satisfying, clear manner, which will leave no room for doubt. Okay? I'm going to repeat that. Light, loving beings from the light will always identify themselves in a satisfying, clear manner, which will leave no room for doubt. All right? One of the things that demonic tricksters do is make you confused and make you doubt yourself. All right? So light beings are very clear. There's no doubt. There is no doubt. Their words will not match their energy and what you feel from them, right? So if it's a demonic entity, what they say and what you feel from their words don't match. So pay attention to how you feel in your body, and just be very, very sensitive with how you're feeling. So take a moment to feel. Light beings will not rush you or push you also in any way. So this is another thing. They're not going to do that. They're going to give you all the time and the space to feel and to find your truth. And of course, for women, ask your womb. Kind of communicate with your womb. For men, ask your heart. And for all of us, really, we have to communicate and connect with the heart center, men and women alike. But for women, also ask your womb. Okay. Now, don't be ashamed or think that there's something wrong with you. Just the fact that you see demons or had demon attacking you doesn't mean that you are a match to them. Okay. I want to make that clear. It doesn't mean like that you are demonic, all right? Like, this is not it. They possess humans all the time, but they will try to also attack light workers mostly. Trust me, I've been so many times in my life. they will just do so in a different way than other people. Because with a light worker, especially if you are not consuming animals and you don't drink alcohol and you are protective of your sexual energy, they cannot enter you. They literally cannot penetrate you. I've had one time that they actually penetrated my body. One demon had penetrated my body, but that was actually the most empowering experience of my life, because that entity just showed me how powerful I am and how untouchable I am. So they know that they can't touch me, even when they're penetrating my body. I'm untouchable. So that was one time years ago, and I was also in a very strange environment. So that gave them the door, and I was actually I made a mistake of pulling out that demon from a friend. That my friend was possessed by that very strong dark entity, and I made the mistake of pulling it out of her, and it got stuck to me. So yeah, don't ever do that. By the way, I speak about it in one of the videos I did recently. I just don't remember which one it is, about not I'll remember. I will remember, and I'll mention it later on. Okay. So let's continue, guys. So again, they will try to do it differently with light workers rather than just any other person. Okay. My own demonic experience. So again, I just mentioned that I wrote a note to mention that, but I literally just told you. So, okay. And another thing that, about that experience that I had that I wanted to mention. So again, that demonic entity entered me, like it physically entered me. Like, I'm not joking, physically. And that was the one time, because all the other times they were around me, they were trying to manipulate me through friends, through people that I know, through situations, through scare me, through my social media, like endless ways. They've been trying to stop me and my work for day one. And also since I was a child. But that one time when they went into me, and then later there were a lot of snakes just appeared out of nowhere, just actual snakes. And there was a full night of battle between these dark entities and me. Like, it was just like a battle. And the snake, which by the way, I tattooed, this is my shadow animal, by the way. I'm not going to go too deeply into it because it's very personal, but this is, if anyone ever, I know a lot of people ask me about him. He's my shadow animal, all right? And he protects me. So we have a spirit animal, we have a shadow animal. I have a spirit animal, also guided meditation on my website. It's so easy, and it will literally connect you with your spirit animal. It's amazing. So going back to my story, the snakes are also a symbol of power and wisdom. So really, that whole battle with that demon gave me so much wisdom and power that I cannot even describe. I just cannot describe. And that was also along the time that I started doing my work for the mother. So it was really, that demon gave me power and gave me wisdom and opened up a portal for me that I may have not gotten in a different way. But it's because I had the tools to face it and deal with it. Most people don't know what's happening. Most people can go crazy from an experience like that. So this is not something I recommend you ever wanting to happen to you. I'm just saying that, it is scary. It is real. But I'm giving you the tools to understand it and understand it, so that you can work with these energies a lot better, because they are here with us, whether you like it or not. Okay. Purify, again, I'm going to repeat that because it's basic, and I'm going to repeat this for the rest of my life. Purify your vessel. And when I say vessel, I mean your physical body. All right. Purify your vessel and frequency. Do a circle around you every day when you start your day, especially before any medicine or psychedelics, or if you take plant medicine or anything like that. So many people have no idea how to work with psychedelics, and it's highly dangerous. I just highly dangerous. I see it all the time. All right. Clearing and cleaning the body and the spirit and the mind is vital. It's not a choice. It is vital. You have to do this, all right? It is something we must do on a daily basis. We must embody the sacredness of who we are to be protected and live our highest path, all right? Now, let's talk a little bit about the tools of the dark. I'm going to take another sip, guys. There's a lot to talk about today. So the dark forces use inversion mainly, but also they use hierarchy, they use manipulation, they use fragmentation, they use your trauma against you, and they use fear. It has a very militant energy to it, right? A legion kind of a source. That's why religion is called like, it's religion. It's very systematic. I write about stuff like that in my first book also, Sex, Magic, Evolution. So I highly recommend you read it. It's very systematic, yet also it causes endless chaos and confusion. So all these things, if you can remember, that's what the dark entity, lower vibration use, okay? So if you feel that kind of energy, then you know what you're dealing with. The dark always creates some kind of a fake Christ energy or savior, right? They will either come to people with very low consciousness, like religious leaders or the masses on this planet who never had any way out of the matrix. A lot of politicians, obviously. But we also see this in people with a fake high frequency, like in many spiritual leaders that are fake, all right? So they seem to be enlightened on the outside, but really they're possessed by low false light to mislead more people who follow them, okay? This is, unfortunately, very sad for me to say. It's happening more and more and more on the planet because people just want the easy way out. They want the quick fix. They want what looks good on Instagram. They want, if you give people what they want to hear, you get endless followers. And what's happening with followers? It's not about the followers on social media. When you have a lot of followers on social media and you're a fake teacher and you are demonically possessed, what happens? It's like a religion, right? It becomes like a religion. You are sucking the life force out of your followers, right? Because they're giving it to you. They're literally giving you their life force and their attention and their energy. And so please just be mindful who you follow, who you put up on a pedestal as a spiritual teacher or a leader or a religious leader. Like, pay attention. Be very careful because this is happening more and more and more. Because the spiritual world, the new age world, right, has gotten a little bit more attention. Then these demonic entities are trying to infiltrate the spiritual realm, right? Like the new age realm. Because Hollywood doesn't have any more power. Religious leaders barely have any more power. And, Hollywood, all these things. So they're trying to infiltrate the new age spiritual community by also having a lot of false light out there. So beware of false light. Okay. We have to use discernment, guys, more than ever. It's just the way it is. So they're going to try to use a lot of light workers. And you light workers out there, if you're listening, do all the steps. You must clear your vessel so that you can connect only with the truth. All right. We need more truth. We don't need more bullshit on this planet anymore. There's enough bullshit. There's enough chaos. There's enough confusion and lies and manipulation. And we need truth. We need unity. We need light. Okay. So they can even catch demonic entities. Will, for example, they will pay attention to a light worker and they will try to catch that light worker in a moment of anger or fear or low frequency or sadness or doubt, right? And if that person have not reached a certain level of self-gnosis, they might fall for the tricks of the demons. Okay, so be very aware. It happened to me a few times in my early 20s, right? Like before I was too aware of all of these games that the demonic entities are playing. So be aware that anything that causes separation, between you and another, or you and life itself, this will lower your frequency. When you eat an animal, you're separated from them. When you take from another, you're separated from them. When you hurt someone else, when you lie to someone else, you are separated from them. So this will lower your frequency. When you hurt, lie, cause pain in any way, you perceive yourself as separate from another. And this is the biggest lie, because we're not separated from anyone. All right, from anyone. This is why a real spiritual leader and teacher and a being must live in integrity and maturity to, in any given moment, with every word we speak, with every choice we make, because it's everything. It's everything. Okay, I also want to mention cell phones here. Okay, when you are on your cell phone all day, what is a cell phone? A cell phone is a black mirror. If the cell phone's closed like that, it's literally a black mirror. Have you ever noticed that? I mean, people who don't know magic really don't notice that, but there is a reason why it's a black mirror. You are not present with your loved ones. A lot of the times when we are on the phone, we're not present. We're like sitting with someone, or we're not looking at them. We're not listening to them. We're not present with them, because we're on this black mirror that's sucking away our life force all the time. So again, it separates us from the moment, from another being, which accumulates and causes real rip in time between people's energy and energy fields. Okay, especially be careful if you have children. Please, 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 if you are a parent, do not do this. Do not sit in front of your child and look at the freaking phone. Be with your child. You are feeding your life force into a black mirror and wonder why you feel drained and sick and sad or depressed or whatever. A phone is a tool, all right? I have a cell phone too, but I know what it is. I know how to work with it. A phone is a tool, but humans are letting it consume them. When not used, put your phone, that's what I do. I recommend, you don't have to do this, I recommend it just because I feel like this is the best way. When I'm not using the phone, I put it on airplane mode, even throughout the day. I just open it once in a while to check if I got messages or emails or things like that, and I close it again. So you put it down. Don't look at it all the time. Put it down, put it on airplane mode, so also you don't get all the Wi-Fi and all the radiations close to your body. When you're with your friends, look at them in the eyes. Connect with their soul, connect with their heart, touch, give them a hug. Connect with their energy field. The heart, this is the Christ energy. The heart field is what needs to be connected, all right? So, cell phones, again, they're a tool of the initial phase to cause deep disconnections between humans and its working. So the cell phone is just one of those steps on the path of disconnecting humanity from each other and from source. So yes, we're going to keep using phones, but don't let the phones use you, okay? So now, when you get a new phone, bless it, but mainly command it to be only a tool for spreading light, and close any portal within the black mirror that can affect you, and do this often, okay? Remember, darkness have no power of creation, so it needs human life force to create and live, all right? So one thing you can say, for example, I give no consent to this black mirror to use, take, or manipulate my energy. I am a sovereign being. I am light, okay? You can, of course, say your own spell. This is just one way to say it. This takes high level of awareness to be so aware each time you stare at the screen, right? Not to be in a high state of fear or dazed off. When we scroll, we're like sleepwalking. We're like zombified and we're empty. I notice it myself. So I'm like, oop, nope, scrolling. It's so easy. It just gets you in a second. And when we are empty, anything can come in, right? Because when you're zombified and you're like scrolling, you're like, it almost like makes you dazed and asleep, then you're not there, you're not present. And then any entity from the black mirror can actually enter you, all right? This is how they use technology and black magic. And I've seen this years ago. The sisters have showed me this, but also I've seen it before I even communicated with the sisters. This is knowledge that I've seen and I've known for a very, very long time. and I couldn't even talk about this with people for a long time because people think I'm crazy anyway. But there is a use of a huge agenda of using black magic and technology together. And cell phone is just the first step of it. It's actually not the first step, but it's one of the steps. There has been many attempts before. So, okay, hopefully this is clear. This is also why the sisters say, and when I say the sisters, for those of you who are new to my channel, I channel this information and most of the information of sex magic from the Temple of Isis and Lilith, from the sisters of the Temple of Isis and Lilith. I am a sister of the temple as well. And also I have a book coming out soon. Pay attention. It's called The Last Priestess, where I actually tell my story of where I was at the temple and the fall of the temple and the connection to Solomon, King Solomon, which was not really a king. So it's a very, very, very unique book, which I recommend for all of you to take a look at. So it'll be out probably September, October this year. Okay. So this is why the sisters say that in the time of the temple, humans lived hundreds of years. We didn't just live like 50, 60, 70 years. We weren't vampires. We just had our full life force because the realm we lived in was not open to demons. It is only when the dark wizards, and again, when I say dark wizards, I mean the people who are using highly baneful black magic against us for eons. And it started with the fall of the temple, which again, I write about in my next book, The Last Priestess. These dark wizards are here, they're everywhere. And I know it sounds crazy, but that's what they are. They're dark wizards. So I'm using the correct terms. It is only when the dark wizards began opening these portals that everything changed, especially with children's sacrifice and rape. Yeah. They also have changed the memories and history. So because history is his story, right? They change history many times according to their agenda. They control many timelines with dark magic and mind manipulation, and now also technology, though they had different types of technology for longer than is known to us. With our life force and sexual energy, we have the biggest opportunity to regain our power, but we are not doing it right. It is not enough to do tantra with just random people and go to like tantra classes and festivals and things like that and do workshops and read books. No. We must create sacred unions by initiation, purification, taking responsibility with every word, action, and intention that we have. Growing up, we need to grow up and complete reprogram who we think that we are, okay? Also, taking real loving ownership of one another again. This is something also that we have lost as humanity. Taking positive ownership of each other. We must remember that we need each other, but most of us prefer to be alone because there are so many people who are not real and authentic and cannot be trusted. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I feel the same way most of the time because society is filled with little children who can't take responsibility and true loving ownership. People who only want to take, people who want to use each other, people who do not honor their word, people who do not honor themselves, people who do not know what sacredness is at all. And this is hard. And the more conscious you get, you cannot be around these people. You just can't. But this path of collective maturity, purification, and sacred union is the only way we can actually be set free and stop being food for demonic entities. Because make no mistakes, we are food for them. Physical and energetic food. And yes, I said physical because they consume some, and again, there are many types of entities, all right, from different dimensions. Some of them actually consume the flesh and blood of human beings. Just like human beings do it to animals, they do it to us. As above, so below. This is why when we stop doing this to animals, it is going to be stopped. They're going to stop doing it to us. All right, we are literally creating our own reality. But this is a whole conversation for another time. And yeah, this is something that I couldn't even speak about for years. And I don't think, I think I've said it just to a few people in my life. But we can go deeper into that another time if you want. if anyone wants to talk about this, you can write a comment and whenever the time is right, I will discuss it. Okay. Humans are food. Flesh and spirit, our blood and emotions are food. What we do to animals is being done to us again. I have been taken, guys. I have been shown. I always travel in dimensions. Again, I don't tell this to a lot of people. No, you know. I guess there's gonna be a lot of people watching this. So I've seen this, and I know how these other dimensions are linked to Earth and to humanity. And I've seen, actually, I don't want to talk about this now. This is not, I can't, doesn't feel right. So I'm just going to leave this next thing to another time. All right, so this is real, but don't believe me. Please don't believe me. I don't want you to believe me. I want you to do your own purification and cleansing for your vessel so that you can receive the highest truth, and then you can directly go to Source and to the Mother, to the cosmos, to show you the truth. Okay, this is what I ask of you. Don't believe me. Use your discernment, but you cannot use true discernment if your vessel is tainted and unpurified and you're still in a low vibration, because you're going to get low vibration information, which is not truth. Truth is light. Truth is the highest form of light information. Okay, very few people are ready to see this horrific truth that, you know, I mentioned, and some of it that I can't mention right now too. Even people who keep themselves as a high vibe as possible. If anyone out there has ever seen what, you know, these horrors that I can't really talk about here on YouTube. I mean, let me just say that I understand why a lot of people are committing suicide in our generation. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. Until we wake up from this program of blood sacrifice, which has been normalized as, again, consuming animals mostly, we will never be free, because we are literally a cattle for other entities who, like, we think we're better than animals. They think they're better than us. Okay, as above, so below. Like I said, you may wonder why a sex priestess like me talks about this kind of stuff. It is because this sex priestess is here to bring truth, and it's all connected. Everything is connected. No matter how ugly it is, I want to speak the truth. And the truth is the only thing that's going to set humanity free. And that we can never create sacred unions, true sacred union, and actually use sex magic correctly and embody our full sexual power until we evolve. And there are very successful sex magic teachers out there I see on YouTube, and they're very successful. They're very known, and they still eat animals. And I'm just going to leave it there. All right. Sacred union and blood sacrifice cannot live in the same world. It's that. What we also can see is that humans on the planet now are acting like those dark entities, right? This is what happens when humans are possessed by certain energies. It doesn't necessarily have to be like, you know, like in a Hollywood movie where you see this person like becoming like a monster and like his face changes and all that. No. It's very subtle. Like, notice how human beings today, they act like they have the same qualities of a dark entity. We create endless confusion and fear. We are shaming each other, right? On social media and live. We are cyberbullying each other, bullying each other to get bullying each other, bullying those of us who have the crazy notion that women are so different than men, etc., etc. There are so many people these days that are complete narcissists. We are raising a new generation who doesn't know a world with no cell phones. And I see parents teaching kids to pose for Instagram and live not for connection, but for the next best Instagram post, right? It's really crazy. There's a huge disconnect from the heart and from each other. It is all about me. Everyone is just look at me. People are seeing someone hurt, and their first thought is to get their cell phone out instead of helping them. This is scary, all right? So this is how the subtle ways that you can see humanity acting like a demonic entity, all right? It's scary, it's demonic. And our humanity is slowly being taken from us, and most humans are blind to see it. Look at the way that they are trying to distort sexuality in so many ways. It's scary. This is really bad, guys. And I know that a lot of you have the eyes to see it, and you have the heart to feel it. This is not good. Distorting our sexuality, distorting our children's sexuality in many ways. So yeah, if we don't choose a new world, a new way to align with, we are not heading towards a good place. So keep seeking the truth with everything that you have. Don't take my or anyone's word for it, please. But make sure that you are actually connecting with source and with the truth. And for doing that, again, you must purify, cleanse, and prepare your body, your vessel, and your heart. And you must do the shadow work. You must unite with your shadow, not let them control you. Know thyself, okay? If your body is filled with even the smallest amount of poison or suffering, which is what an animal product is, you cannot connect to pure love, source, and truth. So you have to be careful of consuming things like that, of consuming a lot of sugars, alcohol, things that lower your frequency. Be careful with, just it's everywhere. We just have to be very careful. If you keep being irresponsible and immature with your sexual energy, if you are a woman needing to seduce or get any man's attention, if you are a man needing to sleep with every woman you're attracted to because you have not yet matured, you cannot connect and align with source yet. You are source. And what I wish for you is to connect to it once more and to be free. Okay. Now, this is what, so the video I said before, it's magic and technology. I'm going to put the link below. So this is what I mentioned in that video. So clean your own, I'm not going to say that word on YouTube. When it comes to cleansing a human from demonic influence, first, don't ask anyone else to do it ever, to cleanse you from entities or possessions or whatnot, and don't do it to other people. Don't ever cleanse another person from entities. I made that mistake. I told you, and I've learned. Unless it is your child and they are too small to understand it, all right? But usually it's not going to happen to children unless you really feed them with a lot of animal products and sugars, which unfortunately people do today. Or, your child is in a very big state of fear or trauma or things like that. Keep yourself clean. Your kids, your children are actually in your field, especially the mothers. So kids will also let you know that you need to step up, right? Because if you don't step up and clean and raise your frequency, then you lower your children's frequency as well. Usually adults dismiss this, the child always tells the parent. Parents don't know how to listen. That's the problem. You need to become the energy you want them to be filled with, right? That's what you as a parent need to do. Pets are not a match to demons, but you can always protect them with the love that you give them, because they are very connected to you, like your children, energetically. Also creating the golden sphere around them so they will have the most easy experience in this realm. Pets also take on them a lot of your shit. So it's good to cleanse them often, energetically. Crystals work amazingly for my cat, for example. But find the best way to work with your pet or your child. Just get another sip of water, guys. Sorry. When a demon manages to attach itself to a human, it is because the human has left an empty space in them to be taken over. So, by the way, this is also connected to the AI agenda and turning us all into empty zombies through the word I can't say, social media, porn, etc. The entity cannot be in this dimension if it has no space to enter. Okay, so when you take on another person's entity attachment, this entity, which is still in this realm, remember, must cling on to you, to a part of your own shadow that you've left open. This, again, this is what happened to me before. The other person, which you freed from this entity, but still did not do their own work, their own shadow work to fill that empty space that now you just left with light and source connection, is now open again for another entity to enter. So you see, it's a lose-lose situation. So don't ever take upon an entity from another person. Don't ask anyone to do it for you. Bottom line. So the only way to be purified is by you facing your shadow that invited this entity in the first place and filling that space with light to occupy that space. It takes absolute body and mind purification, self-initiation of some kind, and it demands you to do so with utter love. You can still feel fear or doubt, that's natural, but you can still do it with love, okay? With trust, by connection and surrendering to source, to the mother, to the cosmos. Remember, humans are the channels and vessels of light, but we have instead been brainwashed and filled with a lot of crap, and therefore we become aligned with that crap. Usually it's with the eighth sphere. So the eighth sphere is the cesspool. It's kind of like that cesspool space dimension where all the collective shadow and garbage is accumulated in, like all the lowest frequencies accumulated in. Another important thing to remember is to be grounded. One must remain in the body and occupied it during initiation. Using drugs or alcohol only allows more entities to enter your space. When you are like that animal in the cage we spoke of earlier, you are not embodying your higher self. You're not connected. You do not have any authority over your own life. Being in a constant state of survival and fear, you are numb to your own emotions, which keeps you from knowing they even exist to even cleanse them, heal, or work with them. Emotions are our power as human beings are, if we know how to use them. If not, the entities will use them. We need to fill our space so nothing else will, okay? That's the bottom line again. Men, you are a channel. Women, you are vessels. Make sure only light enters you and fills you up, okay? And moves through you. Now, a word on plant medicine and psychedelic drugs. I am all for these amazing gifts and tools. I even write about psychedelic mushrooms on my books. They are the main gift that the mother has given us, especially the mushrooms, which can be a small part of your awakening journey. But I see way too many people do way too many of these journeys, not having enough time or space to actually embody and process their journeys and ground them into their physical body. So you must use them with respect and awareness because they are sacred. Communicating with them as the high beings and teachers that they are and not becoming dependent on them or using them as an escape. Do not eat animal products and drink alcohol and eat a lot of sugars while you are taking these high vibration medicine. It will damage you in ways you cannot understand. I see so many people going to do ayahuasca and they go and eat a steak before or right after. It's horrific, just horrific. There is no respect, there is no honor to these plants, okay? People are using them as a quick fix and it is damaging your soul. Okay, not to mention your body, of course. Okay. All right, so like I said, I am going to put the links to the other video down below. I hope this helps, to evolve instead of walking the path of degeneration, disguised as evolution, like this technological world is trying to make it seem. We need to be discerning. We need to discern our natural from the synthetic life. We need to discern truth from lie. We need to discern order from chaos. We need to discern love from fear. And I hope that we all find our way to truly embody our truth. But we cannot do that if we don't recognize the shadow, if we don't embrace, recognize, and unite with the shadows. And remember, the demons are only embodiments and thought forms of our own shadow, of our own subconscious collectively and individually. So my name is Luna Aura. I am a priestess of the temple. I am a servant of the mother, and I pray for sacred union on planet Earth. Thank you.